variable part, right? So now we have just tried to use Python as a calculator, right? We've just written some basic stuff in it. Now, creating a variable in Python. So we all understood yesterday that at the end of the day, after defining the business problem and after we have all of the stuff, I shared some data with you guys as well, right? And that data, when I shared with you, I told you that this data, basically from a data science perspective, if you look at it, it has variables, various variables, right? So the same way, I've just written this particular piece of component and quickly write this at your end as well. Just, assign like a variable with a value 1 to 3, a variable y with a value Zorba Consulting, and then print both of them. Basically a variable, like when I say x equal to, right, or y equal to, that is basically the way to assign a variable in Python. So in many languages, it's very complicated process to assign a variable, but in Python, it's just like whatever you write, any variable name, which has a legit name, it should not be like what I just did, right? Using return or using some keyword as the variable name is not allowed. But a variable is basically storing your data. So when I put x equal to 1, 2, 3, the value 1, 2, 3 in the integer format will be stored. So there's no specific command for declaring a variable in Python. It's just like this. Straight away, you can do it. Well, most importantly, it should start with a letter or the underscore character. So you cannot have a variable written like this, right? Like you can't have a variable. This is not a valid Python variable name. If I try to use it, Python is going to give me an error, invalid syntax. All right. Second is a variable name cannot start with a number, which is exactly what I tried to do here. If instead of this, if I remove the number and put Yash equal to 4, it will work out, right? Python was able to run it. And if I now print it, it will be able to print Yash as well. See, the value 4 is coming, right? So try to understand one thing again, guys. When you assign a variable, right? So many of you at times, like, people get confused that, hey, I did like this, say Yash equal to 5 and control enter, right? So if you see here this, right? This 9 has come up. If you see that a number has come up here after you running it, it means that the program has run, right? Because this is like just assigning the value, right? So Yash has taken the value 5 now. But the thing is, it is not going to print it. It is not going to display anything, right? Because it's just the code was to assign the value. So many people get confused because nothing shows up. I just click Control Enter and it shows up like this, right? People get confused whether the code has run or not. But if you see just whatever code you have, right? If I run this, just check, this is like line 8 right now. If I run it again, right? I'm going to press Control Enter here. Look at what happens to this line 8. See, because this was 10th and now I ran this in the chronological order, this becomes 11th statement that I've run. So it has run basically, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Then a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. So that also, I think you have clarity, right? That you can't have like special symbols in between a variable name. So it cannot be like YAS@h, right? It will again throw error. Can't assign an operator. So you can't use symbols. Underscore is fine. Variable names are case sensitive. That's pretty obvious in itself. So valid variable names are like this. You can name all of these, but you cannot name these ones.